Welcome back to the third and final day of the Paris Peace Forum, the official closing ceremony. None of us expected this year to turn out the way it would. When we realized the magnitude of the crisis that we were dealing with, and when most of the global organizations that were leading forums decided to postpone their forum, at Paris Peace Forum, we made the decision to carry on. We were first trying to figure out if we could still have a physical presence at the Grand Hall de la Villette, which is the beautiful venue where we host the 3 days of the forum. And we were moving towards that direction right up till the very last minute, where we realized that just to be completely safe, we will go completely digital. So what you have seen over the course of the 3 days has not been a pre-planned event that has gone on for a period of months and months and months. It's been magicians coming together almost and putting up the show for you all. A formidable show, a show that has been exceptional in terms of quality as well as user experience. And that was important for us. The first day when we started the forum, we started with recognizing the warriors who have contributed towards the front line, and we want to do that once again. We want to thank our frontline warriors, our health service providers, our healthcare providers, and everyone who has done more than was asked of them to serve during this time of crisis. As for the Paris Peace Forum, a lot of us asked us questions. Why are you continuing the forum during the 3 days in November? Why not push it back? So I guess let me put that question forward to the founder and the Director General of the Paris Peace Forum, Justin Weiss. Why did you decide to bring us all together during these 3 days and not postpone the forum?
Well, Trisha, the answer is easy. We decided to maintain the forum because we knew we could make a difference. We knew we could gather all the actors of global governance. We knew we could have impact on reality, and I think we did have impact.
Okay, so tell us more. Tell us more in terms of what is the impact, in terms of timely impact that we had in November that couldn't have perhaps waited for next year? What is the sort of timely interventions that we have facilitated over these 3 days of the forum that we know will cause a significant impact as to how we end this year and how we begin 2021? Because, you know, everyone wants this year to end at some point now.
From the start, the objective was to work in two directions. One was, how do we get out of the crisis? And the second one was, how do we prepare the post-COVID-19 world? And I have the convictions that we have results to show for it. Let me mention a few of the things that we have achieved. Getting out of the crisis, the question was first asked about health, right? It's where it all started, this crisis, this coronavirus crisis. Well, yesterday evening, we had an especially important session around Act A, that initiative to provide all countries with the tools to fight COVID-19, especially vaccines. And we had an important session where not only we reaffirmed the principles guiding us of sharing these medical resources equally, etc., but also we had important announcement to the tune of $500 million to support Act A and COVAX in particular, that is the facility to procure vaccines for all. We also worked in various directions to strengthen the global governance of health. That was the first output, the first concrete deliverable on how to get out of the crisis. But there's a second one I would like to mention out of the three that we have. It's not just how we get out of the crisis, it's also how we get out of the crisis better. Our motto for this year was bouncing back to a better planet. And one thing really important that we did yesterday was the Finance in Common Summit, where we gathered, along with AFD and IDFC, 450 development banks around the world. Together, they represent $2 trillion of investment a year. And what we had was a declaration by these banks that they intended to align their investment, considerable leverage in terms of resources, in terms of money, behind the Sustainable Development Goals and, more importantly, the climate goals. So we need to have a recovery and many sessions were dedicated to that question of the recovery, how do we get out of the current recession, but also to the green recovery, how do we bounce back to a greener world. Lastly, we need to prepare the world of tomorrow, the post-COVID-19 world. And what we had yesterday afternoon during our official ceremony was not only messages by more than 50 heads of state, government, and international organizations contributing concretely by their messages to defining what world we want afterwards, but also we had this meeting around Kristalina Georgieva, President Macron, President Macky Sall, Charles Michel, and also Angela Merkel, Antonio Guterres, and Ursula von der Leyen around which consensus shall we try to reach in order to get out of the crisis stronger. That is to say, we need to define the principles that will guide us for the post-COVID-19 world. And what was launched during the political discussion yesterday was a global discussion on how do we reach this new consensus.
Right. And, you know, the crisis is working on its own clock. We are not able to control it. And the crisis is wreaking complete havoc within the global system where people are trying to figure out how to navigate through this. And during this time of crisis, it just didn't make sense for us to say, we're going to check out and come back a few months later once things are a little better. The need for Paris Peace Forum is to address situations and problems right at the moment and not check in a few months later and say, perhaps we should have done this. So that is also another reason why we decided to continue on and have this forum on the days that we did. And in that spirit, I want to take you back to what we have covered during the 3 days, the best of the moments of the 3 days, and also you will see the behind the scenes, the calm, zen madness that has put this entire fabulous show for you all. So the best of Paris Peace Forum, here you go.
Welcome to the 3rd edition of the Paris Peace Forum.
Although the forum is going to be entirely digital, we have tried to replicate what it would be like if you were here with us in person.
Hello everyone. The pandemic
today.
Nous avons aujourd'hui besoin de bâtir un nouveau consensus.
It was so important to get all these actors together. This time next year in 2021, we hope to meet for real and together.
It was an amazing edition, and congrats to the team. We'll be thanking the team later on, but this video, of course, is heartwarming given all the work we've put in it. Imagine that we've had 120 hours of live broadcasting. It means if you want to do a binge watching, that you would have to watch for more than 5 days in continuous watching 24/7. I don't advise you to do that, but just remember that you can use the platform. If you're watching us on the platform, you can use it for the next 2 weeks. We will not shut down the platform before 2 weeks from now, but then you will still be able to retrieve the sessions on YouTube, where they will be stored and when you will be able to watch them again. I think many sessions have been exceptional. We've had more than 440 speakers, you know, an incredible lineup, and that part of the forum, the debates, we are very proud of.
This is true. And, you know, beyond the debates, the heartbeat of the forum has always been our projects. Every year, we choose 100 projects that will be showcased during the 3 days of the forum. And at the end of the 3 days, we choose 10 projects that we will let you know a little bit more about in a bit. But critically, why are the projects so important for us? Because we're truly invested in solutions, timely solutions, concerted efforts where multilateral stakeholders can come together. And that is what we believe sets the forum apart. You know, you will always hear Justin say, this is not a conference, this is more than that. And that is what we try and achieve through the project that we have. And it's also telling that every year, even if the projects have been showcased during the 3 days of the forum, next year they do reapply. We have a high percentage of projects that reapply because they believe in the meritocracy as well as the impact the forum can have on their work.
Absolutely. So I think, Trish, now is the time to tell you about the 10 projects that we have selected. There is a special jury that convened a few hours ago and that made its choice based on the 100 projects that were presented. Once again, they are selected to be supported by what we call the SCUP, the Scale-Up Committee of the Forum. That is to say, the Forum will not end tonight. We will keep working with these 10 projects, also with the class of 2018 and the class of 2019. In other words, the 10 and 10 projects that we have been selecting in the past 2 editions, giving them various kinds of support from visibility and labeling to venture support and connections and lobbying for them. And so we will be announcing them momentarily. What I want to say is that it's not a beauty pageant. That is to say, we didn't choose the best projects, if you'd like. The projects, the criteria we used were, first and foremost, what are the projects that both have impact, that we think are making a difference, and at the same time, the projects that we are able to support, for which the kind of help we can provide is well adapted. So the 90 others shouldn't be sorry not to be selected because all of them have been selected, may I remind you, among 850 plus projects. So just being at the Paris Peace Forum is already a sign of recognition. So without further ado, we are going to announce the 10 laureates of the SCUP 2020.
Yes. And usually, if we were having this in person, we would have the project leaders come up on stage. They would be getting claps and applause. So we're counting on you, the audience, the attendees, to do the same, sitting within the confines of your homes, wherever. And please sure to reach out to these project leaders, thank them, congratulate them, and ask them how you can support the incredible work that they're doing. So on that note, the first project that we have chosen to be part of the Scale-Up Committee initiative is AI for Climate. This project aims to achieve climate stability and stop biodiversity loss by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence. In just under 7 months, they have already proven that their project works. They have received the support of over 20 institutions, companies, and foundations. And currently, they have 2 pilot projects, one in the desert that's protecting 300-year-old cactuses, and one in the mangroves to protect many species of birds and reptiles. And something that makes my heart sing is that this project is run by an organization called Sea Minds, and it is a women-led action tank. And although the base of the operations is in Mexico, they are looking at expanding the base of the operations to other countries. So that is the first project for you.
The second project we have selected is, how should I put it, is a bit sensitive, if you'd like, because of the particular situation. The second project we selected is the European response to electoral cycle support in Ethiopia, EURECS-ETHIOPIA. The reason it is sensitive is we all have heard the news, is the resumption of hostilities and armed hostilities in Ethiopia in the last few days, which we all lament and all hope that they can stop soon. But that didn't stop the jury of the SCUP to select this project in the form of encouragement for the return of peace in Ethiopia, and also the strengthening of the democratic system, especially the electoral system, since after the current hostilities, we hope there's a truce, then we hope there's peace, and then we hope that the next electoral cycles will be strong. And so the European Center for Electoral Support, which is a non-profit foundation, supported, among others, by the EU and the German development bank KfW, has been conducting such support for the prevention of trouble around electoral cycles by capacitating non-state actors, by addressing the root causes. And I think they deserve encouragement. I think they should keep working even with the dire situation that we now have in Ethiopia. And so it's also not only in recognition of their work, and we will be helping them to enhance and further their work, but also in recognition to the dire situation in Ethiopia that we selected the second project.
Incredible. The next project, as we know, this crisis has exacerbated inequalities that were pre-existing within our global system. And one of the people that have been hardest hit during this crisis have been women, particularly women belonging to indigenous communities. And this project addresses that concern. It is a project that is addressing this concern in Guatemala, Peru, and Mexico. It aims to address tourism recovery in a post-COVID-19 world. It is led by World Tourism Organization, the World Indigenous Tourism Alliance, and Cultural Policy Observatory. And what they are focusing on is preserving ancient knowledge and promoting fair trade by working directly with indigenous women.
Now, I think that the next project we have selected is the first coming from that country. So the next project we have selected is People for Nature, originating from Russia, from the WWF Russia, which set up shop in 1994. Think of it as a resource center for NGOs. So it's not specifically an NGO directly acting on the ground. It's an NGO that enables other independent NGOs and activists to contribute to environmental protection. What it offers them is training, concrete training, in-person training, expert support, online tools, grant programs for these NGOs, and they've been working with more than 150 activists. They have launched 30 projects in various regions of Russia, and what they are doing is empowering these NGOs. So what we'd like to do with this NGO, with People for Nature, is to support their work, enhance their work, push them a step forward, and encourage them to continue the good work that they are doing.
And next, we have Justice for All amid COVID. You know, a lot of us have been having conversations during this crisis about healthcare and vaccinations and who will have access to quality healthcare. And a populace that we often ignore and neglect are people within prison systems. And this addresses that concern. It's based out of Ghana. It is a unique partnership, a successful unique partnership between state and criminal justice institutions and civil society organizations. What they are focusing on is trying to address prison decongestion, adjudicating pretrial cases, and reducing prison remand population. From 2007 to 2020, they have successfully managed to decrease the prison population from 33% to 14.5%. In response to the COVID crisis, they started providing PPE equipment as well as training prison officers. And based on the success of the work that they've been doing, they've not had even one case of COVID outbreak within the prison system.
The sixth project that we have selected for the SCUP this year is SWOOP AERO. We also have a first here because I think it's the first project that comes from a company, a social-oriented private company. What it is basically is a drone operation that works in partnership with Malawi to provide aeromedical logistics and to assist more precisely and support the Malawian Ministry of Health to achieve its targets, especially for the 750,000 citizens in one particular area of Malawi. SWOOP AERO has very simple and robust drones that are able to deliver medication. It's been supported by the UN, USAID, the Gates Foundation, and others. And don't think of it as simply something for tech addicts like me. Yes, I do like drones, but in this case, what they have been able to achieve is to turn these instruments into real impact for medication. And of course, they've been helping critically on delivering medication and medical tools to fight COVID-19. And so we'd like to help them grow and be replicated elsewhere.
You know, we are lucky enough to get learnings from Pascal. One of the first emails he sent after the crisis hit us was his learnings and insights. And I distinctly remember him saying that this is a lesson to remind us that we need to keep open borders, that multilateralism needs to be doubled down on, and we need to focus on integrity of open borders. And this project does that. The project is called Safe Trade Facility. It is an initiative by Trademark East Africa, and it recognizes that to fight this virus, we need to keep borders open and trade flowing, especially essential goods, such as food and medical supplies. It is focusing on two things: digital trade corridors, so green trade corridors, as well as Africa trading with Africa. And we are excited to have this with us.
Now I will move to the 8th project that we have selected this year. It is called, in French, Pour l'inclusion des talibés au Mali et au Sénégal. This project is supported by the Secours Islamique France, which is a national and international solidarity NGO. I don't know, perhaps many of you have heard the wise words of President Macky Sall of Senegal yesterday when he was having the discussion with President Macron, Kristalina Georgieva, and Charles Michel at the Élysée, and talked in public about the need to address the root causes of radicalization and terrorism. Well, what that project does is to try to address the question of non-formal Quranic schools in Mali and in Senegal. They are rooted in West African traditions, but these hundreds of thousands of talibé, which means students, and we know it by the proximity with Taliban. They are students first and foremost. The problem is that they are also lacking access, very often lacking access to basic learning and social services. They risk mistreatment and abuse. And so what we need to do is not just condemn these forms of education simply because they are traditional and have been sometimes a breeding ground for radicalization, but rather include them, guarantee their inclusion in Malian and Senegalese societies. And for doing that, the Secours Islamique France is working with public authorities and Quran teacher associations in Mali and Senegal on drafting new standards for their education and protection. And in the longer term, the idea is to extend the reach of basic education and to stop the isolation of these students and these schools that can only lead to a divided society.
The 9th project is called Baromètre du pluralisme culturel et religieux. Please forgive me if I'm butchering your French language. It's the World Barometer of Cultural and Religious Pluralism. It aims to identify the shocks within the system, to prevent violent conflicts and to identify advanced threats of massacre and genocides. It's looked at as a necessary tool for peaceful and inclusive societies. It's looking at starting its scope of work in France, Lebanon, and Mali, and focuses on identifying tensions within a society and its ability to absorb shocks and celebrate the different sets of values and preserve cultural and religious identities.
Now, the last project we selected for this year, the 10th project, is the hashtag CoronavirusFacts Alliance. It is put forward by the International Fact-Checking Network, which is a global alliance of fact-checking organizations. It includes many media outfits and many different journalists. It was launched 5 years ago in 2015, but the project that they have been presenting this year specifically focuses on coronavirus, and it's the largest collaborative fact-checking project that was ever done. It was launched in as early as January 2020, and the reason we selected it, it's not only for the quality of the project and the fact that we believe we can help them grow and extend their reach, but also because it is critical in these times of pandemic that information, the information sphere, be, let's say, cleansed of all the fake news about medication or rumors about how the virus is transmitted, because these fake news kill. And so the Coronavirus Facts Alliance is providing one of the remedies to that. We had different, actually, projects this year at the Paris Peace Forum fighting fake news and trying to work fighting the infodemics, as it has been called. But this one seemed to us particularly good to help, to support, and to make a difference.
Yes. So those are our 10 projects for you. We hope you get a lot of inspiration from them and you can understand why we're so proud of what we have managed to pull together during the last 3 days. As we are wrapping up Paris Peace Forum, the 2020 edition, on behalf of Pascal Lamy, the president of Paris Peace Forum, on behalf of Justin West, the Director General of Paris Peace Forum, and myself, we owe a debt of gratitude to very many people. To start off with the incredible Paris Peace Forum Secretariat, Vivian, who was right here for a little bit, but I don't spot him right now, probably busy making sure the ship is still running smoothly, and Cecile, who was in charge of all the programming, the hours and hours of programming that you have enjoyed, Caroline, who has been liaising with speakers and our partners and foundation members, and the captain of the ship, if you may, Mark Revedin. We couldn't possibly name all the amazing members of the Secretariat, but please know that we are incredibly grateful for you, and none of this would have happened without your selfless work and leadership. Second group of people we must thank are Auditoire and Media Active, the platform that puts it all together. They are here. They make sure Justin and I look good. They make sure Paris Peace Forum looks good, from obsessing over the tiny details to truly focusing on you, the attendees and the audience. That's what they had to recalibrate at the very last minute. You can imagine we planned for a physical presence and we had to go digital. And then there was the mammoth task of them having to figure out how will you as an attendee be as engaged as you would have been had you shown up here. So thank you, Auditoire. This has been the successful 3rd year of marriage with no particular grievances, I hope. As well as thank you to our incredible, incredible media partners, as well as the Finance in Commons Summit team that wrapped up yesterday. We had incredible successes to be grateful and proud of. And just a final quick note, we are actually physically present at Grand Hall de la Villette, the venue that we have been using over the last 3 years to celebrate everything that Paris Peace Forum was about. We always said that we hope by the time you leave the forum, you want to come back. You understand the spirit of the forum, that we are serious about getting stuff done. We are not a talk shop. And you leave inspired by the incredible people you have met, and will come back for more. So I will give Justin the last word of thanks, but thank you to all of you who have been so patient with all the technical glitches, us incredible speakers, some of whom woke up at 2 a.m. I believe Marie Pengesto, the head of World Bank, woke up at 2 a.m. We had other speakers wake up at 5 a.m. to join the conversation. So thank you to our incredible speakers. Thank you to our moderators. And thank you to you, the audience, that have played such an important part in making this forum a success.
Thank you, Trisha. Now the time has come to say goodbye. This concludes the 3rd edition of the Paris Peace Forum. Remember that you can still watch sessions and pitches in replay, in video on demand on the platform for 2 weeks, and then you will find them also on YouTube. So we are saying goodbye, but it's not a complete goodbye. We will still be working for a year, and we will reconvene on November 11 to 13, 2021. I very much hope in person. Goodbye.